And Roma win again, another grinding out win. Wow, I don't remember us going through such an unbeaten run about literally in the entirety of my lifetime. This is probably the longest unbeaten run that I have ever witnessed my football club achieve. 7 consecutive wins, unbeaten in the league in 2025. Words that not only were impossible for us to think this season, but words that in general, when speaking about this football club, were like the complete opposite. We were the most we still are, in our DNA, the most inconsistent club ever. So to see us go through such an unbeaten run, in my eyes, it's wonderful to see, and it's quite shocking and surprising. Another fundamental win. I mean, the importance of yesterday's win. We'll get into it in this match reaction, but it's so important. It's so important to end before an international break with 6 consecutive wins and restart after the international break with another win. It's so important. It's so important. These are the wins that narrow it out. These are the wins that at the end of the season scale it out. And I want to thank the players, because the players are giving it their best, even though yesterday's game had its ups and downs. We'll go through it in a second. Of course, we'll speak about it, because there were quite a few negatives from yesterday's game, and I don't think it's fair to hide them. We got 3 points. We managed to grind the 3 points out, which is the most important thing. I'm not complaining one bit, but of course, there were also some negative takes away from yesterday's game, which we will get into, of course. Also, now that we've added another win, another glance at the league table, another glance at a potential chase for Champions League football, and of course, it's our ritual. Remember the sheet that we always do. It's time to cross another game. It's time to cross Lecce, and we said that this had to be a win. So we can cross the second out of our 10 finals out. It's like counting the days until the end of prison. We've got 8 games to go. The next one is Juventus, of course, on Sunday. That, according to our Champions League sheet, needs to be another 3 points. So hopefully we will get that. But right, where do we start? Everybody hit the like, first of all, as always. If you haven't already, do hit the like button. 100 likes and it would be incredible. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and get your friends and families to subscribe. By the way, I added this Velour sticker over here. So we've added a sticker to the collection. Velour protect us everywhere. Where do we start? I think, first of all, can I say that the analysis that I had for you in the match preview was the most accurate thing ever. It was such an accurate analysis, and I also got Dovbyk to score in a very close win prediction correct. This is why you gotta stay tuned for match previews. This is why you gotta hit the bell notification button so you will be notified when match previews goes out, because the analysis behind my match previews are so accurate. They're so damn accurate. I'm not surprised that we encountered difficulties in yesterday's game, because number one, as we said, it's a ground that we always struggle in, no matter who's your manager, no matter what the context of our season is, no matter when we face Lecce, if it's at the start or at the end. It's always a very complicated stadium to go to. We've got a very bad record in it, so to get 3 points from it is a surprise. And number two, I think the most important thing is coming from the international break. Coming from a 1-week break has positives and has negatives. The positive is that players are rested, but the negative is that it breaks your rhythm, especially if you are a team that before the international break had wins after wins after wins. It breaks your rhythm. So that is why, in my opinion, yesterday we looked rustier than usual. That's why we missed some chances yesterday that I don't even want to get into, because if we hadn't won yesterday's game, we would have been reminiscing on those chances, and we would have been very mad, because it's that classic game. And you can see my comment on Roma's Instagram page after halftime, 0-0 at halftime. We literally devoured the biggest of chances, and I literally commented, I know how these games go. I've already seen this script. I've already read this. I've already seen this film. Yesterday's game, after the first 45 minutes, was the Roma game, the AS Roma game, the classic Roma game, where you try to win, you devour the most easiest chances ever, and then you can't score a goal, and in the last seconds of the game, you want to try and push for that last minute goal, and you get hit on a counter-attack, and you lose 1-0. In my vision, saw that game at halftime, us not managing to score a goal, them hitting us on a counter-attack, and us basically ending our season because we weren't able to score a goal and we were bad at defending. Thank God that did not happen. And that is why this game tastes even better. Because after halftime, I was not convinced we were going to win. Because you know those days where you just wake up and the ball does not want to go in. And then of course you have Falcone, which against us normally turns into prime Casillas. However, I'll be honest with you, the goal that we scored, I think it was a good goal. And I'm going to get onto Dovbyk, and I'm going to defend Dovbyk today. But with any other goalkeeper, I'm not sure if that goal would have gone in. Because, I mean, goalkeeper should do better there. But it's a good goal, a good movement from him, and he needed that goal. And once again, ice cold Dovbyk is the reason we get 3 points. It's not the first time it has happened this season. In fact, Dovbyk's goals this season, Dovbyk's deciders gifted us 23 points this season, which, in my opinion, is all evidence that you accumulate, and it shows to you that you can criticize him, but I think he receives far too many criticisms this season. But we'll get onto Dovbyk in a second. Going back to the kind of context of the game, it could have been a more complicated game than usual. It ended up being a more complicated game than usual. Offside goal with Mancini, which in my opinion looked clear. I don't know why VAR took about 20 minutes to say that was offside. It was a clear offside. Plus another thing is the pitch yesterday. I mean, was it me? But everybody was slipping up on that pitch. I saw for a second, Ndika slide tackle, and then the camera got Ndika kind of lifting himself up from the ground, and he had mud. Literally, his white shirt was black from mud. It was a terrible set. It was a disgusting pitch. They have to sort these pitches out in this country, because it's not possible to play in a pitch where you could genuinely grow potatoes in. That field yesterday was disgusting. Everybody was tripping up and slipping on the floor. How can you play football in a game like that? You can't. So, pitch was terrible. Big win. Big statement win. Big statement win. Very big statement win. Lineup yesterday, I was expecting it. The only thing that I was expecting was Paredes to play out of Cristante, but it was actually quite rational to start Cristante out of Paredes, because Paredes, of course, came back from Argentina literally 3 days before the game, 24 hours before the game. So Cristante was actually mentioned man of the match yesterday, as well as Dovbyk. I don't think he played a great game, but not that he did anything too bad, but he didn't do anything special to get listed in the man of the match. Moving on, another player. I don't want to look. I don't want to repeat myself again. I don't, because I am tired of repeating this thing again and again and again. But after yesterday's game, we have the official confirmation that Pellegrini needs to go. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's also sad to see him play like this. He is the definition of useless. I love the man. Like, we have gone through so much together, but it's so frustrating to see him on the pitch that I strongly believe he doesn't even want to play anymore. He's rejecting the idea of at least trying to get this team back on his shoulders. You know, and yeah, because he doesn't even try. You know, one thing is he tries. He's unlucky. He misses chances. He hits the post. He played a good game. He's unlucky. But he does nothing. He does, like, yesterday was another shit show from Pellegrini. Now, I'm not fully focusing the blame on him, and I don't think it's fair to focus the blame on him. You know, I've seen comments on Instagram which went, it's not a surprise that the second Pellegrini gets subbed off, we score a goal. It's the Pellegrini dilemma. Everybody has it with him. Everybody treats him like this, and we should kind of get adapted to this. We know that the Pellegrini and the fan base have kind of lost each other since the start of the season. And I don't even blame him for the poor first half, because that first half, if it wasn't for the Kone miss and the Angelino miss, we would have led 2-0. We would have gone 2-0 up at halftime, and we would have ended the game, so we wouldn't even have suffered much. So the reason why it was a poor first half was because we missed every chance possible, and we don't bury chances. That Angelino miss, terrible. That Kone miss, terrible. I don't even want to hear people say that on that Kone miss, it was the goalkeeper who proved himself good. Yes, the goalkeeper had a great save, but you are 1 meter from the goal. You're 1 meter from a goal, which is about 8 meters wide, and you blast it on the goalkeeper. Like, it's a good save, yes, don't get me wrong, but you literally could have shot the ball everywhere, 2 meters from the goalkeeper, and you blasted on his face. So yes, goalkeeper, great save, but it's Kone missing. It's not the goalkeeper saving it. I mean, it's Kone who misses. So both the misses were terrible, devastating, and they could have cost us the 3 points yesterday. So I'm not trying to go, it's Pellegrini's fault. It's always Pellegrini's fault. No, because in the first half, it's Angelino's fault, and it's Kone's fault. Because if they buried their easy chances, it would have been 2-0 up. So I'm not saying Pellegrini is the reason we wouldn't have won yesterday. But what I'm saying is that it's about 6 months now that I'm expecting something more from Pellegrini, and he's not giving it. So I was the first one to say that now that Dybala got injured, it's time to see Pellegrini get going in these last few months. Get your team back on your shoulders and then leave, but try your best in these last few months. After yesterday's game, I'm like, he doesn't deserve to start. Baldanzi deserves it more than him. El Shaarawy deserves it more than him. And Soulé deserves it more than him. So the only game I would start Pellegrini from now until the end of the season is the derby. Because in the derby, Pellegrini always scores. The derby is the only game where I will accept and tolerate Pellegrini start. In other games, we can start him. It's not a crime. We're not committing a crime if we are starting him. But it's not fair. Because Baldanzi gives something to games. Soulé tries at least to give something to games that our captain at time of speaking simply doesn't. So that's my rant on Pellegrini. Moving on to Dovbyk, because this is where I think it's interesting. Dovbyk decided the game. Dovbyk scored the winning goal. I don't think Dovbyk played an incredible game alongside the goal. But the goal that he scored is the goal of a proper striker, of a lethal striker. That's the classic striker goal. That's the classic goal that we need Dovbyk to do more often. Get the ball, use your physique, turn around and blast it in. We want to see more of that. Dovbyk needs to stay, 100%. I've said this even before this goal. Dovbyk must stay because somebody who's coming from a different league, who's gone through 3 different managers this season in his first season, who doesn't speak one word in Italian, who has his country who's literally at war, 16 goals in his first season in the Italian league, is top class. He can give more in terms of performance, but in terms of goals and stats, I was not expecting more. Dovbyk must stay. Dovbyk is overhated. Dovbyk is overhated because I understand that people don't like the way he plays and the attributions that he gives. But Dovbyk this season has 16 goals in all competitions in his first season. And we've got 2 months left to go until the end of the season. So he could mathematically, in fact, almost realistically, get 20 goals in his first season. Remember, Tammy's first season, he got 27 goals. And in that Tammy season, Tammy scored a goal every time he touched the ball. So Dovbyk might be a season wonder. We don't know. We don't have the certainty. But it's not fair not to keep Dovbyk next season. Okay? And I will add on to this. I think Ranieri's move of at a certain stage putting both Shomurodov and Dovbyk together is one of the reasons we won yesterday's game. Because if Shomurodov hadn't been subbed in, I'm not sure we would have scored that goal. Because if it wasn't for Shomurodov's help in combating with Baschirotto, who was a massive physical giant, I'm not sure Dovbyk would have scored that goal. So once again, we see a move which wins us the game. That's pretty much it. Oh, also, 6 clean sheets in the last 7 league games. Defense is improving. Defense is massively improving. I mean, in the last few games, we have a defense which is about Scudetto levels because we've improved a lot defensively as well. So I don't know what Ranieri has done. I don't know the potion that Ranieri has injected in these players, but it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal what we're doing. It's phenomenal how we've changed this season. We've gone from one of the worst, in fact, the worst season that I've ever seen to the longest unbeaten run that I've ever seen. And this unbeaten run brought us from around 15th in the league to 6th in the league, above Lazio. Of course, Lazio have a game in hand. 2 points from Juventus, with Roma-Juventus being played next weekend. A final. That game is so important. 4 points off top 4, currently in Bologna's hands. Our calendar is complicated. Now is where everything starts. Now is where everything starts complicating itself. Now is where everything starts, becoming more complicated. Incredible final rush until the end of the season against a lot of incredible teams. But I will be honest with you. I think only one, out of all the games that we need to play left in the league, there's only one team which starts favourites ahead of us. And that team is Inter. All the rest, I don't think that they are massively more favourite than us. Even Atalanta away. Atalanta have lost motivation. Gasperini's going to leave. They lost in Florence today. They won't push for the league title. They are going to get top 4. So I think we will want him more than them. There isn't one game where apart from the Inter game, there isn't one game where I go, they're better than us. They will want it more than us. Because we will literally try and devour everything that can possibly come alongside our teeth in the next 8 games. We will treat the next 8 games as if they are the most important games of our life, to try and push this miracle of Champions League football, if not consolidating that very important Europa League spot, which, again, a few months ago looked impossible. Yeah, that's it. With that, I will leave you. I would rather Roma not play in the Champions League and not have a chance to win it. Well, I could agree, but if that's the reasoning, then you will never want us to play in the Champions League, because we will never win it. So think about it. If people say, I don't want the Champions League because we'll not win it, then you're also saying that you never want the Champions League, because we'll never win the Champions League. So, I mean, we can win the Champions League if the world collapses, maybe in another universe, but certainly not in this universe. We ain't lifting the Champions League in this universe. We'd have to wake up in another life to see this team win the Champions League. So, I agree. Look, I'd rather play the Europa League and win it than play the Champions League and not win it. But you don't have the guarantee you win the Europa League. And if that is the case, and Champions League is Champions League. So yeah, I mean, people who say that I don't want Champions League football because Roma will never win it, well, then you will never want Roma to be in the Champions League, because there will never be a time where we are going to be favourites to win it. But it's this adrenaline of facing yourself against the best teams in Europe. So, which is important, and it's fun, and it's adrenalinic. So, right, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to catch you on Tuesday. So, we've got 1 full week to prepare for Juventus. This is the good thing of not playing in Europe. 1 full week, 1 little objective to focus on. Mentally, it's very important. Juventus next, 8 finals to go. Bring it on. Hit the like, subscribe, and I will catch you soon. Simo out.